Well, welcome. It's martini time, even though it's Easter weekend. I've been talking about, in the morning and in the evening, about Easter. Every Easter this is on my mind. It's a meditation on Easter. So this morning's talk, we looked at different aspects of Easter. And here it is again. And my question is, the whole that I want to look into is the second day of Easter. We all look at Good Friday and Easter Day, and we just kind of jump over Saturday, we jump over the second day, as if we were going to hurry up and get to Easter. So, let's look at the second day from a different angle, the viewpoint of alchemy. Now, alchemy was the science of the Middle Ages, and it was basically the search for the philosopher's stone that would change base metal into gold. Well, this is a metaphor. I mean, it was more than that. I mean, we just want to simplify it. The whole Middle Ages was about trying to find gold, turn lead into gold. No. This is a metaphor. This was a search for unity, for the unique one that has no second, the unique one that would unify all of the fragments, all of the partitions, all of the pieces into the one and restore unity. This is the search for the lost unity. Paradise lost, the garden, search for the paradise regained. Paradise lost, paradise gained. Everything comes down to that, of the fragmentation of the world and the restoration of the world. Even Trump ran on it. Restore America. America's a mess. We're going to restore it. We're going to restore this broken piece of bread to its original loaf. And we're getting to the Mass. The Eucharist is restoring unity. Easter is restoring unity. Friday, you have the crucifixion, the fragmentation, the death. You go through the philosopher's stone of the second day, and like a magic act, Friday, Sunday, boom, he's alive. It's like Frankenstein. He's alive. He was dead, he's alive. What happened in that second day? What was going on behind the veil? What happened in that rabbit's hole? You ever notice that, I just did this a little while ago, in the magic act of the magician, he's got this big hat. I'll show you one. Right? So the magician's got this hat. It's a hole. And what? He reaches in, pulls out a rabbit. So, isn't that a neat hat? Well, that's okay, Abraham Lincoln. I don't know where I got that. But anyway, the point is that the rabbit comes out of a hole. Ever notice that Alice fell into a rabbit hole? And Bugs Bunny, what kind of a rabbit was that? You know, he was always restoring unity through his being a jokester, you know, thwarting the hunter, all that, you know. But anyway, so this whole idea we're looking at here is the restoration of unity. Spring restores the unity of life after the death of winter, you see. So all this theme runs through it all. But what happens in the second day? Joseph Campbell was really upset. He was a Catholic, and he was really upset with the Catholic Church when they decided to make the Mass, the Eucharist, less mysterious, and they changed it from Latin to the vernacular of the nation, English, or whatever the vernacular, it's a local vernacular. Stop using Latin, which was mysterious because nobody knew what it meant. It's like Sanskrit. So they took the Latin away, and they turned the priest who would perform the alchemy with his back, you see, to the congregation, and they turned it around so the priest is facing the congregation. And Joseph Campbell said they made it into a cook show. They took away the alchemy. They took away the mystery. What is the priest doing, you see, today? What is he? It's like when I make a martini. What is he doing to that? How do you make that drink? How much vermouth do you use? What's the alchemy to make them? Well, that makes me want to have another drink. But you see that the alchemy here is that's why I say I'm a martini priest, because this is a metaphor for the mystery of the Eucharist, you see. So we are looking at, and even the cross. Here's a Catholic cross. You see Jesus saying, this is Good Friday. This is a Protestant cross. This is Sunday. Where's Jesus? He's gone. Where's Jesus on Friday? He's hanging on the cross. On Sunday, he's gone. Two aspects of the same cross. The only difference is Jesus is on one side, he's not on the other. But the cross is one, you see. So Friday and Sunday, Good Friday and Sunday, are really one from two different aspects. So what is it about the second day? See, it's the second day that mysteriously holds the two together as one. Okay. Now this is the, well, let me see how I can get into this. The alchemy is where you have a fusion. It's a magical fusion of two opposites. So this is death. This is life. Liberation from death. Death, life. Now, is death and life two, or is it one? Well, we like to separate it. We like to say, don't avoid death, just have life. No negative, just positive. No unpleasant, just positive. Pleasant. No down, just up. So we kind of like split the world in our materialistic view, the Western view. We split the duality, the pairs of opposites, into negative and positive, and then we just chase the positive, believing with our technology and our alchemy, we can get rid of the downside and just have upside. Everybody can be a winner, no losers. Just going to be win, 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 no losing, you see? It's kind of like the splitting of the moon into waxing and waning. So you just have waxing. No moon going down, just going up. You see? Forever up. No going down. But life isn't like that. Life is crest and valley. Life is a sine wave. Life is up, down. You can't have one without the other. Life is death and life. Can't have one without the other. And if you take away the second day, they're one. Life is death, death is life. They are one. This is the horror of life, in the sense that life exists by eating other life. So life lives on death. And life becomes death, so life can live. So you can't separate it. But we're horrified by death. We're whisked away. Somebody dies, the funeral people come in and bag the corpse, and boom, he's gone. You see, and in India, in small towns out in the rural areas, somebody could die in the town and they might lie there for a day. There's no whisk broom to pick it up. You see, this is when Buddha left his pleasure palace. That was what awoke him, was the fact that he saw death. There was somebody lying on the street there. So we tend to avoid death. You see my little skull that somebody left on my back porch. We seem to avoid death, and we just want Easter. we just want to escape the death, escape the egg of death, and just be alive and free. And so the alchemy puts the two together and creates a whole that was divided. So when you divide life from death, positive from negative, take a battery. I use this all the time. So a battery, if you look on a battery, it's got positive and negative. Positive on one end, negative on the other. You use the battery, you stick it into some kind of a hole, flashlight, that connects the two ends to a circuit. The energy in the battery goes through the circuit, turns on the light. You separate the negative from the positive, there's no battery, there's no energy, there's no light. So the battery is a container that holds these two opposites together so that the energy can be used. So the second day of Easter holds the death and the life together, so the energy of Easter is transformative. Now, transformative energy means that if you plug into it, it's going to light you up. And that's the whole point of the Mass. You see, if you look back at the mystical Mass, traditionally, it's been watered down so much, it's kind of like soup. If you go to Mass today, it's a very serious, solemn affair. Everybody lines up, and they go through and they get their bread and their wafer, kind of like prisoners getting some food, their daily bread, you know, and they just go by through. There's no liberation, there's no transformation, it's just going through a ritual, you see. So it's been watered down to where it doesn't mean anything. So what is the meaning of it is the alchemy. So the 3 days of Easter, oh, by the way, did you ever notice that the moon, when it wanes, goes into the darkness of the time, the days, 2 or 3 days between the new and the old moon, and there's a hole there. That's the rabbit hole. So the moon goes into the rabbit hole, something happens, and it comes out again, climbs up, it is born again, it comes up to wholeness, and then it dies again, and then goes into the rabbit hole and comes out again. This is the dying and resurrected son of the goddess. And all the mythologies have this pattern, this mythic understanding of dying and resurrect. The moon is the symbol for the dying and resurrected Son of God. The dying and resurrected Christ and the moon are symbolically connected in mythology. And the moon is always connected with the goddess, the mother, the earth. So the dying and resurrected Son circles around the mother earth, you see? And he goes through the cycle of dying and resurrection. This is ancient mythology and present in all religions. In Christianity, though, it gets personified. The gods and the goddess are not abstract figures like in Egyptian mythology. They are human figures. Mary, Jesus, biblical stories, Moses, you know. So it's the gods made human. And we make the mistake of referencing our religious mythology or metaphors to historical fact. So then it becomes just information. And the magic of the alchemy is lost. So take the Mass, for instance. That takes the base metal of bread and wine. The priest has his back to you. He's saying sacred words. He's saying the original words. He is bringing through the words. That's why the Latin was mysterious and Sanskrit. These chants, you see, these mantras are the power of the word. So the word took the bread and the water and made it into something unique, into the body of Christ. Now the body of Christ, the Christ body, is whole because it's God. See, God is whole. So Jesus is God. So God and Jesus, man and God are one, and that is the restoration of unity between God and man. So Christ personifies or activates that, you see, and the ritual of the Mass reenacts it. So the ritual of the Mass, in Easter and by that way, is the reenactment and the restoration of unity through the ritual of making everyday things, bread and wine, sacred. The sacred means the unique one without a second. So the bread and the wine, which was before the Eucharist, was just bread and wine, it was just base metal, is transformed into gold. And now the bread and the wine is the actual body of the one. It's restored. And if you eat that, then you are restored, you see. So it is the eating of the sacrificial act of it is that the bread and the wine is made whole, and then it is broken up again and given to the membership or the people. And that little piece of the one, that sacred piece of, they all take it home, I got my little piece of bread and some wine, you see, so you take that home. It's a coveted, sacred battery, like it's full of power, like it's a positive and a negative is held together. And you take it and you eat it, you see. And it restores your fragmented world, your fragmented mind, your wounded soul, your broken heart. It restores your unity with the world, you see. The exile from the Garden of Eden is when we were thrown out into exile. So the Eucharist is a ritualistic restoration of man to the original garden of wholeness. And it ends his exile. But unfortunately, it's not permanent. So we have to keep doing it over and over again, you see. And over the centuries, it gets watered down. You know, just like soup. You just add a little more water to it because it keeps running out. And you don't even notice that it's so weak. It's kind of like cataracts. They're very slow. So suddenly you don't really know that everything is cloudy until you take them off. And your original sight is restored. Wow, everything is like HD TV, you see. But it's kind of a slow death, you see. So materialism, the modern world, is kind of like a slow cloudiness of the sacred. And we don't know where the oneness is anymore. We don't know where the unity is. And we're looking for the lost center. We're looking for the lost Christ. We're looking for the lost, we've forgotten how to do the alchemy of bringing opposites together to restore the one. You see? So, this Easter day, let's take a look. I just want to celebrate the second day, because that's where the magic happens, and death and life are put together as one. And life is restored when it's restored to death. See, when we separate death from life, we kill life. It's like if you want to understand a butterfly, do you watch the butterfly in its natural habitat, or do you kill it and stick it on a wall and dissect it? You see? So if you want to see the butterfly as whole, you have to see it in the wholeness of its nature. If you want to fragment it, you abstract it from nature and take it apart. But you can't put it back together again. See? So we can't put back, when we dissect life to find the wholeness of it, we kill it. So our modern mind is awakening to the fact that our yearning for the whole has been killing the whole. The yearning for unity has been destroying unity. And when we awaken to that, that's called awakening or enlightenment. When you see that you are the creation of the very suffering you're trying to get away from. So we'll end that there, and I'll see you in the morning. And happy Easter. We'll talk some more about Easter tomorrow morning.